Hi everyone, welcome to one more video of Numerana. I am Ana Dorotea and today we're going to talk about the numerology for June 2021. So we're going to see like an overview of what the month brings energetically and also an overview of each week, so what each week brings. Now remember that this is universal reading, right? So it means that this is how we are collectively as humans, everyone who is attached to the Gregorian calendar, of course. But remember that depending on your birthday and what is vibrating for you and how you relate to the universal, your numbers may, of course, be modified a bit, and we'll have more information. Let's open up here. Let's go to what is happening in June 2021. And June 2021 is an 11 universal month. Okay, so 11 is the number of the energy of the month, and the 11 is the master number. Okay, so what does this mean? The 11 is actually the spiritual master. Master numbers are numbers or vibrations that have a higher potential of frequency than most of the other numbers. So usually when a master number comes, there are strong things, important things happening, and usually the 11 comes for us to realign. So whenever the 11 shows up, it's kind of like this realignment of life telling you, guess what, you're going that way, but not really that way, your best path, it's this other way. So we will experience in June, and we are experiencing this kind of realignment towards what? Towards our mission, towards what we come to do here, and towards our highest expansion. Which brings us to the third point in the screen, which says expansion of consciousness. The 11 again is the spiritual master. So it is telling us we are called to expand out of what? Out of our borders. So these borders can be both physical, right? So there can definitely be in June a change of home, a change of city, a change of job, anything that means your physical surroundings that you expand out of. And it can also mean our mental borders that we sometimes have, and just ideas, right, that can hold us back. So definitely an expansion, and very important also, the 11 is the number of relationships on a higher level. So it's this month is asking us to connect with others like the 11. Many of you have heard me say this before on how the 11 is not two numbers who are one on top of the other. The 11 are two ones who each one is their own individual, right? Their own person. I am my own person. We have space between us to be ourselves, but we still go together. Definitely a lot of dynamics in relationships will be moved this month. We will look at it with more detail in the weekly forecast or reading of the energy that is present. And yeah, so this brings us to a need for connection, right? So this connection will be definitely a connection with the divine, with our divinity, because it is the spiritual master, and also a connection with others around us, and just review our dynamics within these relationships. And then finally, the 11 is the number of inspirations, of decisions. It's telling us it's time to go, outside and decide to realign to our highest path, to our highest potential. Beautiful. So we have here the configuration of June 2021. So before going into June 2021, I would like to have a quick review on what May 2020 was. So this is the central line of June 2021, and May's central line was 551. So what does this mean, right? So May 2021, 551 tells us that it was definitely a month of changes. Double 5 is big changes. So people who probably had an important change in their life, they moved, right? The 5 is movement. So probably I moved homes, I moved jobs, places. So movement was very, very present during May. And the one is kind of connected us with our own independence, with our own individuality, and with our ability to stand as one, stand on our own 2 feet. Now, this month, right, of June, after we were very much immersed in our changes and our own personal changes in May, June brings quite an opposite view. And after the 1 comes the 2, right, the 11, relationships. So what is the main focus of the change, that is the number 5, for June 2021? Precisely see who is with him. the 11, right? So one-on-one relationships, and also the 6. The 6 is the number of community, family, right? I always say this, even the way that we draw the 6, it looks like a pregnant woman. So it's like the change that is the 5, right? Because we need to remember that the umbrella of this year is a whole 5, right? On the umbrella of the whole 2021. The change comes to happen in our community, in our family, in our bonds, and also in our relationship one-on-one. So definitely a month that can bring a lot of expansion also through teamwork. Whenever the 6 is there, it's a month that is telling us you are called to create a balance right now between giving and receiving. So maybe it's like the 6 is saying that we have been giving so much to others, just like giving and giving to others in our time and our energy. And the 6 says like you have maybe forgotten to give to yourself, right? Even the way that we draw the 6, it gives to itself. So if that is what we are called to do in this month, to also like review our dynamics of giving and receiving and give to ourselves, because no one can give from an empty cup. Also relevant with the 6 is that because the 6 also is also with the 11 and its relationships and connection, the 6 is a month that is calling us in June to purposely and intentionally connect with those people in our lives who are our community, maybe our family, and that we sometimes can take for granted, like, oh, I won't call them because like they're always gonna be there, they're always there for me, so no need. No, not really in June. So in June, we are called to actually create these healthy connections, right, with others, and to give intentional love to those who are our people, like our family, our community. Now, interesting also because the 5 is in the center, and remember that the 5 is like the umbrella next to the 6 and the 11. Very, very important to review our dynamics precisely of control versus freedom. So where in my relationships do I notice maybe too much control? Where in my community or one-on-one relationships do I either feel controlled, right, or I'm imposing too much control or dominance over others? Because this is something that we come to see. The 5 tells you, like the 11, allow yourself to be free as you are and allow the others to be free as they are. Others won't be like you, and that's also okay. That's also valid, right? So reviewing these dynamics, even with the 5 and the 6, just like allowing myself to be different from those of my family, from those of my tribe. That is something that is also present in June. So let's go to the week to week, what is happening. So the first week that goes from the 1st until the 7th of June has this configuration here, this quadrant. So the numbers that are active are these in blue. So the 11 is on top, and it's great. Usually and always, the first week has the vibration of the essence of the month. So in this first week, from the 1st to the 7th, we have a double 11 happening, and it's like life is telling us, okay, complete realignment and change. So you are being moved in this first week. We are being moved to something that is more aligned to us. Like we have been doing things that are maybe more for loyalty to old paradigms and old ways of thinking. And the double 11 is like time to get out of our borders and really realign to what we are here to do. It is a week for great connection. So if you want to send an email, if you want to like contact anyone who seems like a master, a teacher, and especially it's like someone who seems like very VIP in a way, you could definitely do that in this first week. It's super, super good for connections, especially with the 5. We become more magnetic and like attractive. So the 11 is connections, and then the 6 is community. So anything that means expansion through union of forces, through alliances, it's great this week. And definitely a moment of changes in my relationships, changes in my community and family, which we are called to just flow with, because we are expanding, all of us are expanding, and that calls for change. Let's check out the second week of June 2021, and this second quadrant is activated, giving us in result this pink quadrant that is active. So now the 7 is on top. So the 7 is interesting because 2 things come with this. First, the 7 is the number of decisions and choice. So it's a number of commitment. It's like life is telling us the second week of May that, goes from the 8th to the 14th of June. It's like the second week of June is telling us we are called to commit. It's like the 7 telling us, come on, you know what you need to do. You know really what you need to do, what you are called to do. So do it. Stop standing in the middle of the door, asking yourself whether I go in or you go out. The 7 is telling us you already know the answer. You already know what you need to do. So create in yourself this commitment to do it and actually take action. It is a great, great time also with the 7 to study our decisions and realize what are we going to decide moving on forward to get to where we want to be. And very, very important this week, two more things. The first is it is very much of a mental week. So like mental numbers are very actually active this month. It is a very, very good recommendation to connect with nature and with meditation, specifically with the 7 in the crown, because our minds may like just like go, and especially with 7 and 11, maybe we can create scenarios that just like are not even true, like are just like in our mind. So definitely connection with like reality checks is a good idea. But most important for me with the 7 is the number of knowledge and truth. So anytime the 7 shows, and like right now is also with the 11, that is the master, it is a week that is telling us whatever we learn right now, whatever we expand our consciousness with, will in return bring like blessings and opportunities and ideas that we could not see before, because we needed the 7, the energy of knowledge, to open those doors. So it's like expansion, as you see here. Expansion is a 5, comes through knowledge. So these two numbers are interrelated, bringing, just like more opportunities to our life. So great time in June, second week. Well, all of June actually, because of the 11, but second week specifically, great for learning and expanding our knowledge. Let's go to the third week of June, and the third week, all of these are present. So we have the 9 on the crown. And what does this mean? First of all, the 9 is the number of the spiritual student. So very interesting, because we have this third week. We have the 9, which is a spiritual student, and then we also have the 11, which is a spiritual master. And it's just like an expansion, right, with the 5 and the 6 in community. And it's really like an invitation this third week to expand in our spirituality. Great month. I mean, seriously, you guys, this is an 11 month. Remember that the 11 is the spiritual master. So it's like our ability to connect is higher and heightened, right? More so than other months. So the 9 is just a moment of telling us, like, expand your consciousness and awareness. Even the way that we draw the 9, it looks like a head touching the sky. See? So it's like, like touching above. So great time this third week to connect with spiritual teachings, coming right from the 7, that is knowledge again. So it's like kind of like in the flow. But also the 9 is the number of ending cycles. It is the last of the numbers, and it tells us it is a moment to close cycles. Now, who is the 9 straightly directed to or linked to? To the 11 and to the 7. So this is telling us the third week of June, that goes from the 15th to the 21st of June, is a week to close cycles with ideas, right? Limiting ideas or just like prejudices that we hold in our relationship. So the 9 is the 11. What do we need to close in relationships? And the 7 also. What do we need to close regarding prejudices, especially in my lineage or in my tribe? So like, what kind of precepts have I adopted and just like taking us through? Like, everyone in this family, we do it like this. To all of us, this thing happens to us. Like you gotta be this way or live this experience in order to be part of the tribe. So just like a little bit of like questioning these dynamics and realizing, where do I still hold ideas, prejudices, just like belief that have pulled me back and are maybe obstaculizing my growth and expansion. And this is precisely what comes to close third week of June. I remind you also that the 9 is an intense number emotionally, right? It's also about like emotional balance. So we may feel more emotional than other times or other parts of the month this week. And it's super important when we feel like the emotions just like shaking us, super good idea to bring ourselves back to our center and just like decide after we are cooled down. Why? Because in doing so, we find wisdom. In acting from a place of emotion, we can become impulsive, and that can just like not be so pretty. So definitely emotional balance, keep it in mind. And finally, let's go to the fourth and last week of June 2021, that runs from the 21st until the 30th of June. And all of these numbers are active. So we have the 8 on the crown, and the 8 is amazing to end June. Actually, it's 11 energy, because the 8 is a number of abundance and of healing as well. So when we have it especially linked to the 6 and the 11, two things come. First, a week that comes to bring healing in our relationships one-on-one and in our family. The 8 is a number that is asking us to set limits and boundaries, right? So when we arrive to this week in June, we might want to check out, like, where am I giving too much power away to others over my life and my decisions? Where am I giving too much power away, right, to my relationships maybe, or to my family and community over what my actions are? And it's a time to, like, set the boundaries, right? That's what the 8 does. The 8, like, creates a boundary between, like, this is me, this is where I am, this is where you start, this is where I start, this is where you start, right? So just like creating this balance and setting boundaries is going to be very important this week. And the 8 is also great for business, right? It is a number of abundance. So just like be super, super mindful, whoever is like a business owner or whoever wants to like make a major move professionally in some sort, for your business, for your profession. This last week of June is amazing. The 8 generates abundance as we put our hands to work. So definitely also realizing that the 8 is linked to the 6 and the 11. So it's like this telling us this abundance, this expansion of the 5 of abundance is not for you alone and only you. No, this expansion and abundance is generated through the union of forces, which are the 6 and the 11. So anything that means like business, associations, negotiations, like alliances for creating something together. Great in the last week of June. And lastly, this last week, because the 8 is a number of power, and then we have the 5, which is dominance and like freedom, liberation. So again, a week that will ask us to check our power dynamics within relationships and allow more freedom for ourselves and for everyone else. Lastly, I want to say just like something that I think is cool, the energetic day, the most energetic day, so the 22 energy of the month is going to happen on the 11th of June. So anything that you want to activate, that you want to, just like an email you want to send, a project you want to launch, something that is a big move towards a decision or towards a commitment, this day, 11th of June, is super, super good, as it has the energy of the master builder. So whatever we want to build, super good idea to do it then. All right, everyone. So that was it for June 2021. I hope that it was useful for everyone. If you like the channel, please subscribe. Also, feel free to check out numerana.mx in this now available in English website also, where we have the online calculator for your numbers. You can calculate with your own birthday which personal number you are in, right? Because it's, remember, like a collective reading. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram at numeranamx. And if you want a session and if you want to know what your numbers are saying and what is happening for you personally right now, feel free to see the available options for sessions in calendly.com/numerana. And yeah, you can schedule right there. If it resonates with you, we have the option of personal sessions, relationship sessions, business sessions. Numerology is just amazing. It gives us a lot of tools. And yeah, make sure to check out whatever resonates, whatever works for you. I have a lot of gratitude to everyone. I send all a lot of love. And yeah, may we continue to walk together in this journey with numbers. Thank you so much and have a beautiful June. Bye.